So, first things first, before I load up the game proper, there's at least one little thing I want to show off. And that is the... I do have a save file for Sonic Heroes. And I figured I'd kind of show off just how old that save file is. I kind of had a chuckle at how long it had been since I had last played this. Yep, Sonic Heroes, 43 emblems, December 27th, 2007. I believe, looking at the back of the box, the game came out in 2003. So yeah, it's been almost 12 years. So I figured I'd at least show that off. It's... And no, I have not actually beaten this game. Yeah, I have a decent amount of stuff. Basically, the second memory card is basically just for the stuff that I did when I played Madden 07. Because that stuff requires enough space that I needed a second memory card just dedicated to that. Okay then. Yep, I will be starting a new save file for this because, yes. Did I press the wrong button? I'm thinking I did. I'm so used to X being the do the thing button. There we go. Yeah, X is apparently cancel on this one. And I actually have two Madden games. I have Madden 07 for PS2, and I have Madden 01 for the N64. I don't think I ever got that much mileage out of either one, but... Alright, let's see what kind of... Vibration... Yep, off. Data, which... Audio settings, which is fine, I guess. Alright. It's probably nothing in the extras now, but we'll see. See what there is to be had. Yeah, not much. Not much. Probably nothing in the CG theater either. Alright, this is go right into this whole thing. There's apparently a lot more to this than I remember. I feel like I need to go through the tutorial for this, because I remember what little I remember from this game. I actually remember having issues on certain parts, and given that it's been so long since I last played, it's probably going to be worse.
Hello, I'm
Hello.
In this stage, you can practice different types of actions. Listen to me carefully, and you will learn a lot. Okay, are you ready to start?
Okay, so left is stick is movement, right movement is
Leave it to me.
is
First, I'll explain the formation.
camera.
Each formation is different depending on who the leader is. Press the triangle button or the circle button to change the leader and try different formations. Do you see the blue, yellow, and red symbols in the top right corner of the screen? The blue symbol means the leader is speed type. The yellow symbol means the leader is The red symbol means leader is power type. The character symbol at the bottom indicates the current leader. Next,
Makes as much sense as anything.
Formation signal. These signals tell you which formation is most effective from that point. When the signal is blue, speed type leader is recommended. When the signal is red, power type leader is recommended.
Got it.
Leave it to me. This is the formation change gate. The leader automatically changes when you go through.
Oh, I can skip it. Okay.
You're in speed formation when the character in the blue symbol is the leader. This formation features really fast speed. Let's try it by changing the leader to the character in the blue symbol.
Here we go.
Now I'll explain the homing attack to you. The homing attack comes in really handy and is used often in the speed formation. So make sure to master this technique. Press the X button to jump, then press the X button again while you're in mid-jump. That's how it's used. Now, let's try it without spring. Now, let's talk about rings. These things lined up here are what we call rings. It's important to always have at least one ring with you so you don't lose a life when you take on damage. So don't forget to pick up rings.
You ready?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so apparently just mashing homing does the job there.
Automatically target springs and item boxes too. Use this technique to jump to different places. Now, let's try it. Next, let me explain Rocket XL to you. It's way cool. Rocket XL is an attack where you use your teammates to bounce off of to accelerate. It's a little bit complicated, so listen carefully. Press the square button to bring everyone together. Once everyone is together, let go of the square button. That's how to attack using Rocket XL. If you let the square button go before everyone is together, you'll do a completely different attack. So be careful.
Oh, really?
Now, let's try it.
Ready? Go.
Now, let's talk about the level up feature. That thing is called a power core. It's used to level up your character. A blue power core increases the speed type character's level. A yellow power core increases the fly type character's level. And a red power core increases the power type character's level. It's hard to keep up with Sonic.
Level up.
Level up!
Not sure what the level ups do, but
Got it.
Leave it to me. Yeah! Next, I'll explain the fly formation to you. First, change the leader to the character in the yellow symbol. When the character in the yellow symbol is the leader, you're in fly formation. This formation allows you to fly.
you don't say.
Leave it to me. Now you can reach high places. Let's try flying off that cliff now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Make sure to keep an eye on the gauge in the top right corner of the screen when flying. When the gauge is empty, you'll drop. Pay attention to the gauge and try flying over there. Let's go. Try thunder shoot by pressing the square button while in fly formation. This lets you shoot your teammates at the enemies like balls. Thunder shoot comes in handy when you want to shock your opponents or when you need to aim for high places. Chase! 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 Let's go!
Okay, and the flight meter only matters when I'm moving forward. Okay, that's good to know.
Chase! Chase! Stay! Let's go! Okay, now let's try destroying all of those enemies over there!
Way ahead of you.
Stay! 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 Let's go! Stay! 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 Stay!
Level up.
Oh, shit!
Okay, apparently
Let's go!
um,
Let's go!
okay, hitboxes.
I'll now explain the last formation called the power formation. The power formation is useful to crush the enemies and rocks with powerful attacks. First, change the leader to the character in the red symbol.
Got it.
Well, whatever you're trying to say, I skipped right past it.
Take this.
Wow, you're a quick learner. Excellent. Okay, now let's try destroying all of those enemies over there.
Level up. Too cool.
You may have already noticed this, but if you press the square button at the right time while in the power formation, you'll do all sorts of combo attacks. Press the square button while jumping from here to do a special attack. You want to try some more?
Take this. Take this. Take this. Take this. Level up. Take this. Take this. Take this. Take this.
Level up!
Too cool.
Now for the very last special attack, Team Blast! When the gauge in the top right corner is full, then you can attack using Team Blast by pressing the R1 button. This is the ultimate attack to use when you're in a pinch. Let's give it a try and wipe those guys out.
And it comes with a thing in case I didn't already have it full.
Blast away.
Okay then.
Too cool.
The gauge for Team Blast is energized by collecting items, rings, defeating enemies, or by using formation action.
And there's the goal.
That's all! You did great! I knew you would do just fine! Touch that gold ring over there to clear the stage! Come back anytime if you need to practice! Good luck!
I hope I don't have to.
All right.
The controls feel a little wonky to me, but I guess that's probably a me thing. I guess we'll find out, won't we? But I think learning the control, or I guess relearning the controls is probably a good idea. I pressed X again. Dang it. I am so used to pressing X to confirm. Most of the games I have do that. So that when it's not the case, it's throwing me off. So it's probably going to happen quite a few times. Actually, before I go into that, I actually want to show off my other file, just to show off how far I got on the various story modes before I go into actually playing them. Because Because I know I have at least some progress in all 4. Though I never actually beat any of them. So... I don't remember if that's percentage or not, but there you have it. Yeah. That's about how far I got. So those more familiar with the game, you have an idea of what kind of experience I'm working with, even from way back when. Make sure I'm selecting the right save file this time. Alright, so from what I understand, the main difference between the story modes is that Rose is easy, Sonic is medium, Dark is hard, and Chaotix is different. Because of that, I'm at least going to try and beat all 4. We'll see how well that goes, but I'm going to start with the easy one.
You can count on me.
Okay, here we go.
We'll see how things progress, I guess.
Oh, I wonder where Sonic is. Oh no! Amy, please be more careful with our only clue. You're right. I'm sorry.
Nice catch.
Nice catch, Fig. Chocolate. Hey, you guys, cheer up. You know we'll find them. No time to waste just standing here. Come on, let's get going. Okay.
Okay, then. Oh, don't tell me I have to go through the tutorial again.
Hello.
Yep, I have to go through the stupid tutorial again. Okay, if I had known that, I would have...
First, I'll explain.
Yeah.
You see the blue, it's the red, that's... Next, I'll...
Yeah. At least now I know I can skip them. I don't know if that's just a thing for Amy's thing, but it now makes sense that the Omochao specifically neglected to actually mention the characters by name.
Now,
Well, I guess the separate tutorial option might be if you hadn't played the game in about 12 years, and you don't want to start all over from the beginning like I am. At least this won't take 10 minutes like the previous time.
if you let the... Here we go! Yeah! Now, level up!
Level up.
Ha-ha-ha! Next! I'll do my best! Next! Here we go! Here we go! Here we go! Here we go! Make sure to keep an eye... Pay attention! Here we go! Try thunder shoot!
There we go.
Okay, here we go.
So I find it odd that sometimes I hit them, sometimes I don't.
Level up.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, now the first.
And I'm also somewhat under the assumption that
Pressing the square button.
Oh, goodness.
I question whether or not whether the tutorial stages are for all the campaigns or just this one. Since what would this supposed to be easy mode?
Ooh.
Level up.
Right.
You may have already noticed that. Press this. You want to.
Ho ho. Ho ho. Ho ho.
Smashy, smashy.
Ho ho.
Level up.
Ho ho. Ho ho. Ho. We did it. We did it.
All right. Now, but when they get.
All right, let's see what this one is.
Level up.
We did it.
Okay then.
Woohoo.
There we go. I guess whenever I get to one of the other campaigns, we'll save if I have to go through the tutorial again. Alright, Seaside Hill. Get to the other side of the sea. Okay, so I just tried the D-pad and it didn't do anything, so...
I'll do my best. Here we go.
Right.
Wow, these ruins move when you get close to them.
Okay.
Please be careful not to fall.
I'll try.
Enemy robots up ahead. I'll do my best. Here we go.
Ooh.
Here we go.
The cute rabbit can do it.
Uh,
Right.
I'll do my best.
Right. Ho ho.
not sure what the key is for, but I have it.
Here we go.
Press and hold the X button to go higher with flying. Pressing the X button repeatedly will make you ascend faster.
Fair enough, okay.
Got it.
Here we go. Yeah!
Got it.
Level up.
Okay. I passed something.
I think something good may happen if we all go through those 3 giant rings together.
Level up.
Alright, if you say so.
Right.
Level up.
Checkpoint!
Try lighting up the 3 lights on the wide spring to get the item.
All right.
Okay. Well, I got the thing.
I'll do my best. Cream, can you take care of the flying enemies? Using Thunder Shoot, it should be a problem, right? Here, yeah. Big should be able to handle this. All right.
Yay, I leveled, or gained a...
No! Tell me this isn't true. I'll do my best. Level up.
Right. My turn.
Cream, Dream and I automatically strike the enemies with auto homing when we get close to
Yee!
them in tower formation. Level up! I'll do my best. Here we go!
Ow.
Target direction depends on formation. Press the X button to fire and square button to cancel when in power formation. Change cannon direction with the left analog stick.
Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. Checkpoint. I said checkpoint. Thank you. Well, I missed that.
I'll take care of it. Level up. I'll do my best. Level up. Right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Wow.
Okay.
Here we go. All right.
Let's go.
I'll do my best.
My turn.
Oh boy, I think
My turn.
why do I have the feeling I'm going to be struggling through this game and this, if I'm having issues doing this early stuff. Whew, okay. Yeah, because I am just mashing my way through everything, and I have a feeling that's not gonna get me too far. Well, I accomplished something at
Not
least.
too bad, I guess.
Alright, Ocean Palace. Find the ruins floating on the sea. Alright, later, some guy.
Wow, what a beautiful white palace. Amy, we're not here to sightsee.
Froggy.
The stone door is shut tight. Can you help us, Mr. Big? There are so many bad robots.
Wow, you're right. Great.
I'll do my best. Here we go. Yeah. Wow. Level up.
These stone pillars don't look too good. We better watch out.
Here we go.
Got it. My turn.
Looks like we can go up if we catch the current coming off that fan. Maybe you can use your umbrella, Mr. Big.
Ah, okay. Umbrella was the X button, alright.
Can you break them, Mr. Big? Big should be able to handle this. I'll do my best.
My turn.
Whee!
Oh, goody.
Level up.
Great. Got it.
I'll do my best. We can travel far distances by moving in all directions using Big's umbrella. It's a good trick to use when we need an extra lift.
Ah, there you are. Of course, I... Come on.
Level up.
Alright, that's fine.
All right.
It's... Well, at least the game's giving me options for what direction to go into.
Right. Oh.
Ow.
Level up.
Ooh.
Whee!
Oh, the huge turtle.
Oh my.
Swimming like that looks fun.
I want to find Froggy and go fishing.
Okay then.
All right.
Can I aim up? See, it didn't even give me a chance to aim there.
And locked using a switch.
My turn.
You're saying it didn't aim high enough. I didn't even... It's not even giving me vertical aiming.
Those robots are protecting that case. We have to take care of the robots first.
Whoa, hello.
I'll do my best.
Yep, okay.
My turn.
Whee! Ah, the heck? Okay.
All right. This case can be unlocked using a switch.
My turn.
Here we go.
Okay. So I'm only aiming when I go in with big. Makes as much sense as anything.
My turn.
Here we go.
My turn. Got it.
Here we go.
Ah, dang it.
Ooh.
I don't think that's supposed to be that hard. Oh dear. I think I am in serious trouble if I'm having issues now.
I think we can unlock this case with a switch.
Let's see what happens if I go in fly formation. Okay.
My turn.
Almost didn't make it there.
Got it.
So I'm thinking this might be my issues might be a consequence of just my lack of experience with
My turn.
with 3D games like this in general.
Got it.
Because I think because I don't really play games like this, like, hardly ever. Just in this style.
My turn.
I don't even know what leveling up even does.
Got it.
Yay! I actually made it to the dang goal almost. Hit the dang goal ring, please. Thank you. Hey. Maybe it's just me being as stupid as I normally am, but seems like
Not too bad.
how the heck do I even get a C on that? There's no justification for that. Hey. Struggling this much on the easy mode. This is going to be a train wreck. Though I kind of expected that going in. So. Can't have disappointments if you don't have expectations.
So you're the ones who are playing games with my army.
Dr. Eggman!
You little brats, I'll show you a thing or two.
And it's boss time.
Eggman, are you up to no good again? Dr. Eggman, you shouldn't cause so much trouble!
That's a no-no, Doctor.
Whoa! Initiate rotary attack.
I'll do my best! Here we go!
My turn.
I'll do my best!
My turn.
Here we go!
I'll attack Eggman when the crowd starts to spin. Here I come, Eggman!
Is that all you got?
Here we go!
Dang it.
Initiate rotary attack. Whoa!
Okay.
Whoa! Whoa!
Aren't you about done?
Okay, yeah, this is working. Just
This isn't the end!
Alright!
I remember struggling with certain parts of this. There's one part on the Sonic front that always seemed to give me grief, and I want to say it had something to do with the level up system
Keep making these machines.
or something. I don't remember now the details. Just that dying and continuing from the checkpoint was punishing because I didn't have the levels or whatever. I don't remember the context of it anymore. Stage 3, Grand Metropolis. But yeah, I could definitely say I didn't necessarily have an easy time when I was first playing this game either.
Hey, are you sure Mr. Sonic is here? No No doubt about it. My heart is never wrong. Then it must be so. What a huge plant! The buildings are so tall, it's making my head spin.
Froggy, where are you?
It feels like I'm on an escalator. Now I can run fast now. I'll do my best. Here we go. Here, yeah, all right.
Haha.
Here we go. Yeah.
Bye, bird.
Ah!
Bye, bird. Bye, bird. What?
Haha.
Here we go. Press the square button to grab the switch once you get close to it. Use the left analog stick to push or pull on the handle. Press the square button again to release. Ah!
Bye, bird. What? Got it. What?
Here we go.
So what was I supposed to do with the switch again? I pushed it in, but the heck are you doing?
I'll do my best. Here we go. Level up. All right.
So on those high-speed things,
There's a lot of them.
I think it's clear
Ready anytime.
that
Ooh.
I'm not just supposed to hold up on those high-speed segments, because I'm always ending up on one far end or the other.
How's that?
Bye, bird.
Still have no idea what the keys are for.
Oh.
I'll do my best. Here we go. Here we go.
And of course, if I don't hold anything, I don't steer at all, so now I don't know what. Doesn't help that it doesn't. The controls don't seem like the most responsive thing in the world.
All right. Yeah.
Game, did you not tell me to press the square button to hold onto the dang switch? I was pressing square and you dashed me away from it. Make up your mind on what.
I'll do my best.
Rotate the camera with R2 button and L2 button.
Oh.
Here we go.
I thought that's what the analog stick was for, the right analog stick was for, but I guess not.
Bye, bird. What? What?
Here we go. Level up. How's that?
Level up. Great.
I'll do my best. Here we go. All right.
Bye. What? What?
Here we go.
My turn. Oh, goody.
I'll do my best. Woo! Here we go.
There, I at least got some of my rings back.
My turn. Oh.
I'll do my best.
My turn.
Level up.
Ooh.
Amy should be able to blow off the robot's shield using her tornado hammer. Here we go! Yeah!
Now it's just a matter of figuring out how to do it on purpose. Or not. Okay.
Here we go!
So I was holding square and then I don't get it. Alright, what's this?
We can spin on that hole to go up. Amy, will you use the tornado hammer near the hole? Yeah!
Hey. And I wasn't attacking when that went off. I don't get it.
My turn. Oh. Oh.
Here we go!
Okay, I guess it's a thing I use in the air. Alright.
I'll do my best. Here we go. Level up.
Got
Here we
it.
go. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, really? I did not get that checkpoint.
Here we go! When grinding, use the square button to go fast and left analog stick to balance.
Got it.
All right!
Okay, made it through that one. Oh boy. I don't know how many missions each story mode has.
I'm feeling a little blue.
Yeah, I can't imagine why. Although I'm thinking the stars might just be new records or something now that, since I've been seeing them on every dang level. And I'm thinking if I'm struggling here, it's probably for the best that I don't do any of the other 3D games. Because I can only imagine how much grief that would give me. Not hating on the game itself, just I know it probably wouldn't fit my playstyle.
They probably got some evil plans. Let's get them.
Still don't know what the keys are for, but okay.
My head's spinning. Here we go.
Okay. Right. Am I actually gonna game over this soon? I think I am.
Machines. They probably got some evil plans. Let's get them. My head's spinning.
Let's try the fly formation first.
Got it. Got it.
Oh, that definitely worked better.
Here we go.
Got it.
Can I get that other one? Eh. Oh well.
Let's line up sideways. My turn. Oh.
Really, game? Okay, if that's how you want to go about it.
My turn.
Okay.
I have a bad feeling about these fireballs.
Well, gee, you think?
Enemy robots up ahead!
My turn.
Here we go!
My turn.
Anything, oh, okay.
Oh, goody. Got it.
Here we go! I'll do my best!
My turn.
Oh, that actually hit. Wasn't expecting it to.
Great.
Here we go! Here we go! Yeah!
Huh? My turn.
I'll do my best! Here we go! Yeah! Here we go!
Alright, guess I have to knock out more of the blocks. It can't just be one block wide.
Here we go.
Come on. Aim, darn you! Thank you!
Here we go. Level up. Level up. All right.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yay! 1-up, I needed that.
It may trigger something if we hit it with a ball. My turn.
Here we go. I'll do my best. Here we go.
Got it. Got it.
Oh boy.
Got it. Got it.
Okay. Got the 1-up. Got. Whew. Okay.
That was pretty tough.
I definitely think this is a bad sign moving forward, but hey, I've started it. I'm gonna at least finish this. We'll see how things go moving forward, I suppose.
Gotcha, my darling Sonic.
Amy, what are you doing here?
Sonic, this time there's no way out of marrying me.
Alright, so it looks like the paths are starting to intersect now. We'll see how things look from the Sonic team perspective.
Amy, knock it off! There's no time to play.
Sonic, give up. This time you're mine. Mr. Sonic.
And yep, I fall off the edge right away.
There's no time to play.
Sonic, give up. This time you're mine. Mr. Sonic, isn't Chocula with you?
Froggy, where are you? Level up.
Well, looks like I already knocked out 2 out of the 3.
Level up.
We did it!
And yep, firing in a direction I couldn't even see, and I succeeded. Okay then. Amazing what happens when you're playing a character that just doesn't go flying off the edge at a moment's notice.
We're sorry, Team Sonic.
And I got an A for it too. Of course I did. Oh, hello.
Hello there. I actually almost forgot you were playing this tonight.
Yeah, it's going rough already.
I mean, that particular boss is... That boss appears a second time later, technically, as another team. They're both very easy.
Considering that's the only time I've gotten a rank above C so far.
I won't say more than that, because you got plenty to go.
I've almost game overed already at this point, which is gonna saying a lot.
I can't believe he did that just so he could get
Which is interesting to note, too, because Amy's Team Rose is supposed to be the team that has the easier stages, too.
Exactly.
Now I know what to do. Find Eggman and I'll find my Sonic. You all ready?
So is this the PC version?
This
Nope,
city
PS2.
reminds me of Casinopolis.
Ah, okay.
Look at all those neon signs.
I am very much used to playing the GameCube version.
All right.
Easier said. I think my main issue on this is the whole thing just seems very uncoordinated.
Yeah, the team mechanic was very wonky. It was interesting, but it was wonky. I personally like this game. Not every Sonic fan does.
I'm sorry?
I personally like this game, but not every Sonic fan does. I definitely like its music, though. That's a pretty catchy soundtrack.
Got it. Got it.
When in a ball, press the X button to hit it with the flippers. Press the L2 button or R2 button to control the flippers.
Oh.
Yeah, this is the one of the wonkiest pinball physics.
It's more of the perspective than anything.
Yeah. It's a Sega game, so it's expected to have pinball, but...
Yeah, I get that. I'd feel a bit better if I could, actually see the whole thing.
Well, the thing, too, is if you switch to another character right now, you'll go to wherever they are on the table.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing.
Yeah, sometimes they've, like, gone off the rail somewhere. Sometimes they're somewhere on the other side of the table. Usually I just stick with one person.
And I don't even know where I'm even supposed to go at this point.
From looks up.
Yeah.
This is obviously another one of those games where you need all 7 emeralds for the true ending, too, which is... In this game, the special stages are actually kind of wonky as well. The wonky kind of just describes this game as a whole.
Yeah, I showed off my old save file from when I last played this game almost 12 years ago. And I hadn't beaten any of the segments. I had gotten the farthest on this one. I think it was like high 90s or something.
Yeah.
Team Chaotix was at like 80. The other two were at 18 each.
Yeah, that's the Sonic and Shadow. Sonic and Dark's stages are the harder ones.
Which is kind of why I started with this one.
Stages. Chaotix probably went smoother because it's mostly objective-based gameplay. Hey, the other thing that's done with the special stage is if you want the emerald, you have to get the special stage key on the second stage instead of 2. So only even-numbered stages give you Chaos Emeralds.
My head's spinning.
Thankfully, it doesn't matter which team you pick them up with.
Yeah, my save file, I had like 3 of them. Heck if I know how I got them. And I wasn't even going to be concerning myself with them here and now.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you were gonna, like, do every team or just one.
Our initial plan was for every team. Given how things are going this early on, we'll see how things go, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see, obviously. It's a 14-stage, 7-boss game, so... It's not super long, but the problem is that you're literally playing through the same stages 4 times. That's like the major gripe that people have with this game is that, and I don't fault them for it.
The slot machine on the pinball table varies depending on the matching symbols. A maximum of 200 rings is paid out with 1 ball. That number is tripled when there are 3 balls in the machine. Be careful of Eggman's symbols. If Eggman's symbol comes up in match, you lose your rings.
Got it.
At least I can't. The risk of me losing the ball isn't so bad. Although I have kind of gone over the side. But thankfully, it hasn't resulted in a death yet.
Yeah. Thankfully, in like the most part for the stage, you don't really die if you fall off the table. Usually you'll just get put to a lower area and have to make your way back up. Though there are places in the next stage where that can happen.
Okay, I see where I'm supposed to go now. Follow the arrow, except
physics.
Except physics, yes.
And say I don't remember if I got this game like immediately it came out, but I was like probably like 10 or something when I first played this, maybe even younger than that.
Well, if I got this game when it was new, which I might have, that would have put me at around 18.
Yeah, it was 2002 or 2003, I believe.
The box says 2003.
Yeah. Couldn't remember. Oh, that's going to send you back to this table here.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, it's not super punishing, but it is a little tedious.
Whoa. I'll take the lack of death at the moment.
Yeah. As I know, too, because the other two are crossed out, those two have fallen off the table in the abyss somewhere, so you can't switch
I
them.
I see them.
They'll come back when you land on solid ground, but until then, they're gone.
All the more reason to not switch characters, right?
Yep. As a note, Team Blast can also bring back anybody who is gone like that.
We probably need to activate some sort of a switch to open this door.
Smashy.
Everybody look out! Okay!
Okay, dokie.
It's always more fun to break that glass with Big and Vector because they body slam it.
And I keep wanting to use the right analog stick to move the camera, but it goes into first person when I do that.
Oh my god!
Yeah, if I remember, camera in that game was another bit of a weird thing.
Yeah, no, L2. The game says L2 and R2 to do that, to actually move the camera around.
Oh yeah, because on the GameCube, I think it was L and R, not the C stick.
Here we go!
Oh, hello.
We did it!
Suddenly the end.
Yeah, Rose's stages are like maybe half the length of a normal stage, sometimes less.
I had mentioned previously, you might not have been around when I mentioned it. I seem to recall an issue I had when I initially played this was something about the level system,
Little blue.
and I don't even know what the levels even do. What
I
characters
can
level
actually
up?
explain that to you. When a character has gained level, their attacks basically are amplified.
Oh, okay.
So it makes combat easier. So a homing attack will do extra damage. And in particular, power characters get like extra combos added to the end of them.
Oh, hello, special stage.
So this is a bonus one, so you can get some extra lives. You can make it through this. But yeah, so like for speed characters, homing attacks get strengthened, and eventually, if you get to level 3, the homing attack will blow shields off of enemies. And you can also send them flying if they don't have a shield. For flying characters, it increases the power of the Thunder Shoot, which is actually quite important because flying enemies can be a pain to deal with because of the fact that usually shooting a Thunder Shoot will stun an enemy instead of doing damage.
Here we go!
That's just as a note in the special stage. That gauge at the top is how much boost you have. You can hold what looks to be square to boost.
And okay.
And as long as you pick up more orbs, you'll get more. But if you run into a bomb, obviously, like you just did there, you'll careen to
Thing
a
is,
halt.
I had been holding up the whole time, and I'm thinking that was a bad idea.
Yeah, looks like you're gonna run out of time if you're not careful here, which will probably just happen.
I
Those
wasn't even
special
looking at the
stages
timer.
are a menace to learn. I've played them enough to where I know them, but they're god awful if you don't know.
I wasn't even looking at the timer.
And then level 3, increasing levels on power characters adds extra attack to the end of their combo. So like they'll shoot, or they'll punch twice or shoot 2 characters, and then they'll do something else. In Big's case, he flings that the lure around his center position, and the strength of that is dependent on the level. Meanwhile, this is my favorite stage. I love Bingo Highway. Because not only does it have good music, but it's a really interesting little gimmick it has.
Okay.
Oh, you swapped.
Yeah,
You swapped
I thought I had swapped to Cream, but I guess maybe I didn't.
She was out of commission at the time.
Okay, I don't even know where I am at now.
The better question is how Big got up here, because this was the area you could have gotten going off of that ramp, and the only way to leave is to go down.
Huh.
The AI can do some weird things when you're not around with it.
I guess.
Careful not to be detected by that robot's searchlight. If so, he'll call his friends.
Bye, Pig.
So yeah, if that robot catches you, it'll summon extra enemies. So you're just gonna want to stun it and just kill it, basically.
Right. Umbrella time!
Oh, it's a note too with the leveling system. If a character is in the lead spot when you hit a checkpoint, they will get a level.
Yeah, I noticed that much.
Otherwise, it's based on pickups that enemies tend to drop.
Mr. Big squashes enemies with his belly. Press the square button for both.
Yeah, I kind of made a goof because I went through the tutorial stage, and
No,
then
on
when I
Team
started
Rose
this,
forces
it sent me
that.
through the tutorial stage again.
Yeah, Team Rose forces you into that.
I was wondering if it was just a Team Rose thing or just a thing in general.
It was basically considered easy mode, so yeah, it was a. I think it's a Team Rose thing. I forget if Team Sonic is forced to go through it the first time. I don't think they are. Worst part too is even if you picked Rose to go, like say 3rd or 4th, you still have to go through that tutorial.
Bye, Pig.
The next table is pinball with bingo.
What's bingo?
You just have to light a row using the numbers.
I can't see. Can't see where the 3 is. Okay.
They're split on that path that you're on.
I just couldn't see where the 3 was on the
right.
board.
Oh, on the board, sorry. I thought you were talking about on the actual physical table.
Bingo.
I don't remember how many rings you get for bingos, but you do get a decent bit if you can get a bingo, which you'll get 1. Probably the other reason I like this stage is because you can get lives pretty easily here. I do believe if you game over, though, you actually have to start from the first stage in the set, so that's one bad thing that can happen with game overs.
Oh, okay.
So, like, say you game over here on the boss, I believe you have to do Casinopolis again first.
Ah.
Which is less than ideal.
Well, it makes me glad I didn't game over then in the stage before this. Came close, I was on my last life, and then... Big? The heck are you doing?
He is technically bigger than all the other characters, so he gets stuck in the trajectory a little easier.
Part of the issue is that I keep thinking that's the...
Got it.
You know what, I'll just use X, because that activates both of them.
Yeah, there's one. Yeah, I was gonna say you can activate them separately, or there's just one button that hits them both.
Yeah, I think X is probably just the better option there, I think.
Wow. you're right.
Level up!
Yahoo!
Why don't we go up? I'll do my best. Here we go.
Bye.
So will this show? Okay, okay, I'm at 7 lives now. Okay.
Yeah, the casino tends to feed them to you.
Considering I was at like 0.
Yeah, I think when I came in, you fought that boss, you were down at like 2 lives. Okay, I think you're on one of the tables that you can die on. I don't know if it's the case for Rose. I know it is for some of the other characters.
Come on. There.
Oh yeah, the other weird thing about controlling the characters on the pinball tables is technically you're controlling everyone at once still.
Everyone, let's all line up sideways from here.
Level up.
The other thing that makes special stage acquisition annoying in this game is the key will disappear if you lose rings.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense.
Makes them kind of painful to get in later zones.
I'll do my best.
My turn.
Level up! No problem for Mr. Big! Here we go!
I have to get back on solid ground before I can.
There are so many bad robots!
Wow, you're right.
Yeah, just stay in my attack radius. Thank you.
Yeah, I honestly feel like the Big's particular combo edition is the weakest of the team, like the power members. Because, like, Omega, for instance, he'll get, like, bullets, bombs, and eventually missiles, like a flamethrower and missiles to go onto his combo to really deal with enemies. Knuckles will impact the ground and leave, like, a shockwave effect. And Vector will spit things out at the enemies, whether they be music notes or bubblegum. They kind of just cover the radius a bit better than Big does. With a little more oomph to them.
There's one.
This area is dangerous, so be careful not to fall.
Nope.
Yeah,
Over there.
everybody else is dead too, so try to avoid those. Oh, I see why you were doing that now.
Hey, okay. And relay game.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh. Wow. Okay, that's weird. I don't remember Big bouncing that much, but jeez. I guess that's why I usually pick the speed character on bingo sections.
Here we go!
I think the only exception to that is in the very last bingo section for Team Sonic and Team Dark. I think I usually do power on that one just so I don't send everybody onto the table at once, because it's very easy to lose everybody there. This should also go without saying, but when it comes to getting good ranks, if you ever die in a stage, your score resets. Was the thing in a lot of the GameCube Sonics. I think it was pretty much every GameCube Sonic of that era.
Wow, you're right. Oh, goody.
At least I got the grabber.
Bingo equals 20 rings. Perfect bingo is 40 more. I wonder how many we get all together.
And they've already gone off the edge.
Oh, God, big. Yeah, because Amy's a smaller ball, I'm curious how she'll control in comparison. Yep, she flew off.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, it's wonky physics in this game.
Now I see why this world gives me a bunch of extra lives. It's so I can maybe get past this part.
I think it was actually a 1-up up there.
Big should be able to handle this. There are so many bad robots.
Wow, you're right.
One thing too is that like Team Chaotix was actually a group of characters I didn't actually know of when this game came out, because they were apparently had been a thing for a while with Team Knuckles' Chaotix on the 32X.
Oh, goody.
I'll do my best.
Great. My turn. Oh.
Here we go.
Yeah, I don't know if Cream's gonna control any differently. It's just that I feel like Big might control differently because he's, you know, larger.
Be careful not to fall off.
Hey,
Well, they're both gone.
okay.
You're really getting sent back.
And then I went into the... That was more of a legitimate loss there.
Part of me is wondering now if the physics are different in different versions of the game. Because I don't remember them being this wonky.
Yeah, because goodness knows, pressing like up and down on the analog stick does nothing in those parts.
I think left and right at the very least do something.
Yeah, and it's like the slightest nudge sends me like 90 degrees.
Hmm.
Wow, you're
I
right.
needed to hold the umbrella the entire time, right?
I mean, you can technically hold the umbrella even when you get over the tube and just float for a little bit.
Well, the issue is that I didn't hold the umbrella long enough,
Yeah.
which I wasn't sure if it was if that was a thing or not, but now I know.
Oh, goody.
So I guess just use whoever at this point. I'm not sure if it really matters who you're using anymore.
Right.
Please be careful not to fall.
Okay. Hey, I got a bingo for all that's worth.
Which I think is like 20 rings. They were just
Yeah.
discussing it earlier.
Yeah, there was a hint box. A bingo gives me 20. Apparently, a full clear gives me an extra 40 on top of it.
Yeah. And since bingo is composed of 3 rows, 3 columns, and 2 diagonals, you can get 200 rings if you get everything.
To get to the other side, let's start the dice.
Okay, stop the dice, you say.
There's
Okay.
a switch in the back there you can shoot with a flying person, I think. Or, I could be thinking of something else. There could be a switch, like, down below, even.
Or in those boxes.
Or in the boxes. They can hide it in a couple different places. I mentioned the switch because that thing over there, that's, like, behind that balloon, is something you can shoot with a flying person, but sometimes it's a switch, sometimes it's just item, like, for, like, a 1-up or something.
We probably need to activate some sort of a switch to open this door. I'll do my best. Here it is.
Alright, technically that door's optional, because
Yeah.
the goal's right there.
I see
that
it.
door
I see it there,
leads to a ring vault. There's a switch hidden nearby the area if you can find it.
Ah. Well, hey, I got through the stage, at least. That's the main objective here, I think.
Hmm. Which means you're going into the next boss, which I hesitate to even call a boss.
Blue.
Yeah, I want to say on my other save file, I think my emblem count was like 43 or something like that.
You get, I think, 16 or 15 for completely finishing the game, so a little over half of completion. That also depends on whether you did, like, extra missions, which there's 120 emblems, I believe.
Yeah, I don't remember what I had done on that, if anything.
You in. Get them.
Okay, Robot Carnival.
This is basically just a few waves of enemy rush.
I think you've underestimated our
I think Rose has like 7, 8, maybe 9 of them. It's not much.
Stay out of our way.
level up.
We did it. We did it.
I believe there is a... Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a springboard that leads to a balloon up high.
Level up.
I think it has a Team Blast in it, if memory serves.
Oh, hello.
Oh.
Oh, hello indeed.
Great.
Or that or it's just hitting 3 sections of the team board. If the board is what gets you the Team Blast, I'm not sure which it is.
Level up.
I think the last time I picked this game up even was back in college, like 3 years ago.
There's so many of them.
Not bad.
Alright, so I can't hit them from with the
Yeah,
power
usually if
focus.
an enemy is flying, the flying character is usually going to deal with it pretty easily. And since you're level 3, you're crushing them.
Level up.
And if there's ever an enemy if you don't want to deal with, you can Team Blast it if you have the Team Blast for it.
Enough already.
This is only the beginning.
I'm surprised that hit.
We did it.
Oh, yeah. That lore probably should not have hit that guy. Alright, I think this might be the last wave.
That's some decent range on that.
Well, that's because you got the level 2 one.
Oh yeah, I just didn't think it would be quite that big a range.
Oh, no, there's another one. Oh god, jellyfish.
We
Don't
did
get
it.
too excited,
We
boys.
did it.
Those were the easy ones.
Woohoo! Why are there so many of them?
Yeah, bosses are all ranked based on time, so they're the
Right.
easier ones to get A ranks on.
So,
I think whenever it's a team fight, you gotta get it under 30 seconds.
oh, apparently I did it last time.
Yeah, you got 28, I think, on the Team Sonic fight.
Like heck if I know how I did it, since I was aiming at myself. I was aiming in a spot I couldn't even see.
This zone, there's like death aplenty in this set of in this next 2 stages.
Oh, fun.
If only because you're literally grinding out in a ravine.
Well, I had seen the grinding previously.
Yeah, this actually isn't that bad, and
I just have to actually. How important is the balancing aspect?
The balance is just it makes you go faster. You can't fall off the rails.
Fair enough. That was my main concern.
It's jumping from rail to rail that's a little tricky. And a little scary because, well, obviously there's a canyon of abyss, a canyon below you that's gonna kill you.
Enemy robots up ahead! I think we can change the direction of that lighted rail we were just on with a switch. We should look for it.
Got it.
Yeah, those color-changing rails are the main gimmick of Rail Canyon. You're gonna see them a lot. Makes for some interesting setups. I understand a lot of aspects of gaming aren't supposed to make sense, but I imagine trying to grind on a rail with sandals would not end well.
Okay, dokie.
And I feel like Big probably has like lost the soles of his shoes, the bottom of his feet even.
Smashy, smashy. What do we have here?
Oh, goody.
Oh, something I'm probably never going to use. Alright, cool.
That would Team Blast.
Yep.
Those actually do something different for each team, and Rose's is
Yeah, I saw it.
probably the most OP.
Oh, okay.
Oh, actually, there's a few really OP ones. But,
Okay.
yeah, you need to switch rails here.
Yeah, I noticed that. And apparently I missed badly.
Yeah. I think it goes a bit smoother if your speed is still kept up, but it's, like a lot of this game, a little wonky to get used to.
Thing is, I think I overshot the dang rail.
Yeah, you did. You went over every single rail.
Wow, okay.
Oh, you did it again, yeah. Maybe use the fly formation when you try that. Just so you have a backup in case the jump doesn't go well. That's what I tend to do when there are tricky jumps, is just like switch to fly formation because it's safer. Because that way if you can't jump the rail, at least you have a backup.
Or I can go this way that actually has ground.
That helps too.
Stick left or right and press the X button to jump from rail to rail.
I think that was the... There's no way I should have been able to keep my balance doing that. I think the issue was that I might have been
I'm sure we can spin on that.
I think I was pressing jump then hitting the direction or something.
Oh, yeah.
That
no.
might have
If you hold the direction and then press jump, it transitions a little easier, I
Yeah.
think. You'll probably have at least one more instance where that comes up.
This attack lifts enemies off the ground.
Yeah, when it comes to Team Blast, I think Sonic's is the most basic. Just basically a screen clear. Dark screen clears and also freezes the stage for a few seconds. Rose kills what's on screen. They each get a level up, and they get invincibility.
Nice.
Wow.
And then Chaotix gets rings for the number for each enemy they destroy with theirs, which then contributes to helping refill their Team Blast because rings help fill your Team Blast gauge.
Oh, goody.
You know what? Let's just get these things out of the way.
Level up!
You know, I was looking at one of the old stages in this game the other day because I wanted to make a Mario Maker level out of it, and I'm being reminded here too that stages are not as long as I remember them being in this game, even if this is the shorter group. Oh. There's a rail straight in front of that. It's a little scary to do that. Yep. Well, the transition worked, but now you're going the wrong way.
Yeah, yeah. And then I missed.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, there is a rail like straight ahead if you move forward on that middle jump.
That's what I was thinking. That I shouldn't have been moving around like I was. Okay, but I do have to actually be moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, because as soon as you go off of a rail, your momentum is dictated based on your control stick again.
Looks like a rhino's heading this way.
Don't worry about them. Let's keep moving.
There are a bunch of rails you can take here. They'll all lead to the same spot, pretty much.
I'm more worried about staying on the rails to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
And not hitting something that I can't just plow right past.
Yeah, for the most part, they don't really put too much dangerous on the rails. It's dangerous enough being on the rails.
Yeah, no kidding.
They expect you to automate for most of this. Forgot how much that rail winds.
We need to take care of those guards before getting to that cave. My turn. Ooh.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're fine. Just, it says down because the rail is currently attached to the upper portion and then it attaches to the lower portion.
Hey, the heck?
Oh, yeah, you walked right through the rails.
Yeah.
Oh, and then landed on that. Yeah, some of the objects around the stage can be stood on and traveled upon.
That case is being
Fortunately, it
guarded by the robots.
doesn't really help me getting back up, though.
No.
That case is being guarded by the robots. Take them out first.
My turn. Ooh.
And I did it again? What? But, okay, I'm alive. And there's the goal.
Oh, you literally just shortcutted by accident.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the stage loops in on itself, so you can kind of shortcut down the lower portions. It likes to go down more than it goes up because of your momentum in this stage, so it's pretty easy to skip major chunks of Rail Canyon.
Yeah.
I need a little blue.
Good man, Super. My opinion of this, it feels like I'm not in control about 80% of the time. And I'm only labeling it as blind because it's been 12 years and I didn't even finish it then.
Given the percent you got on Team Rose, you probably made it to the last set of stages.
I want to say I made it to the last.
See what they got.
I remember looking at it like recently for whatever reason, and I want to say this group was on a boss. Might have been the last boss.
Okay, maybe I was wrong about game overs then. If you were on a boss.
Say what now?
Maybe I was wrong about game overs resetting you if you were on a boss.
Okay.
Usually I'll pick fly formation for thin paths like that. Even if there is no sign of death, it's just easier.
It allows for more precision, I would think.
Yeah. Because it's one of the slower moving ones. It's not speed. So you can kind of just precision.
Level up.
And the one thing I do remember liking about this game is there are a lot of different ways you can like choose to tackle certain sections.
Level up.
They do give you kind of this little bit of liberty of choice and a couple like differing paths you can find, but for the most part it's still all the same. There's a switch you step past.
Yeah, I see it.
Well, there's the main gimmick of Bullet Station. Becoming cannon fodder.
Got it.
Quite literally, it's seen. Okay, I'm actually in control here. Okay.
Yeah, you just move left and right. You can hit balloons basically. I like how they tell you that afterwards. Like you wouldn't need to know that a moment ago.
Obviously, I wouldn't have. There we go.
Thankfully, no threat of death here. It's literally just for a goodie
Okay.
or two.
Well, you say that, but how many times have I fallen through the rails already?
Good point. Good point.
Okay.
Yeah, just as a note, holding B when going fast not will keep you going fast, but you can also just mash B to speed up if you're going slow.
Nah.
Oh yeah, this is the other gimmick of Bullet Station. You constantly end up on train tracks.
This looks like a special job for Big.
Got it.
Alright! No problem for Mr. Big!
Smashy, smashy.
When grinding, use the square button to accelerate and the left analog stick to balance.
Oh, does Rose have to do... No, I don't think they do. There's a bobsled section in this stage, and it's actually one of the trickier ones.
This is making my
But I don't think Rose has to do it. I know Chaotix and the others have to do
analog
it.
stick left or right and press the X button to jump from rail to rail.
Oh dear. I made a mistake. Should not have gone into the cannon in power mode.
You can hit B, I think, to you can, or the equivalent of B to cancel out of the cannon when in power mode, I believe. I think there's a button you can press anyway that gets you out. Yeah.
Going with speed, so at least the game will dictate where I go. Because I've...
Speed and fly pretty much have their own, like, confined paths. Power expects you to do the shooting yourself.
And apparently I didn't... Okay.
Oh, God. Where'd your momentum go?
I'm at 0 lives again.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I didn't think we had gotten that low.
I had lost...
Then again, you did lose a couple on the Rail Canyon, figuring out the rail transition.
Not to mention losing all the ones I did on...
Bingo Highway.
Yeah.
I'm falling.
Well, I guess we'll figure out what the game over does then.
I guess.
Whether I was remembering it correctly or whether or not, or if you'll be checkpointed here. Because I seem to remember it taking you back to, like, Team Select when you game over, which would make me think you start back from a previous stage.
Well, it does. It has been auto-saving after every stage. For whatever that's worth.
So that still might happen. Yeah, I don't know. Because again, it's been quite a while since I've played this too. Sooner than you, but still.
Yeah.
My head.
Not to mention you're playing a different version.
Well, the GameCube version stages don't look any different. And they control more or less the same, I would say, in terms of, like, buttons. I don't know if the mechanics are different when it comes to, like, character mechanics, but who knows.
I just didn't boost, that's all. Hey, no, okay.
Oh, there's the goal.
Whew.
Something as a note, too, like, you know how you're riding that tall rail from up above? I think I've previously used either a homing attack from speed or the flying team to, like, just skip to the top of the tower.
We should try to do better next time.
Alright, so you remember the first boss?
Yeah,
this one's
the
about
chase one, yeah.
This one's more of the same, basically.
Okay.
You gotta be beating up a giant contraption. Difference this time is it's multi-stage, and there is chance of death in this fight because you can fall.
Something weird in there.
The last time I found, while it was on the ground, I just found myself just mashing at it with Amy, and it just, even when it started walking away, I was still mashing at it, and keeping up with it, and then that's how it ended up dying.
This is it. Ready?
Okay, dokie.
Here we go.
Oh, but gotta be careful. There's rails there. And get back above solid ground. Thank you.
Yeah, the central piece is the main piece you need to hit in this first phase. The rotors will just keep him from moving back and forth if you kill those.
Ooh.
Hey, and apparently I didn't. The homing attack apparently doesn't home as well as I think it does.
The front cannon, I want to say, is also not something you can destroy.
Fair enough.
It's a little weird.
Okay, and it does take me back to.
We're up. You can count.
Well, let's find out then.
Yep, let's find out.
Go.
Your progression's past halfway, so I imagine it actually does checkpoint you at that boss.
And I guess if nothing else, we may see whether that's just unique to Rose's team or what.
True, and I could also just be remembering it wrong.
Maybe.
Something weird in there. Jeez, you'll be
Yep, and it looks like you are indeed just put back here.
Two.
You do have to watch the cutscene.
Let's get it before Sonic does. Then he'll be head over heels for me.
Ready, all cannons! Open fire!
If I remember correctly, the dumb thing about this particular boss,
This is it.
although it seems to have reset after the cutscene, if you fight this thing, I think, outside of story mode in, like, stage select, I want to say on the first life, the timer starts while it's coming in. You know, before you can even, like, interact with it.
Well, on this one, I could say the timer was starting at the moment the cutscene was beginning.
Yeah, because, like, the timer started right before Amy talked, and then it reset when Eggman showed back up again to see it, to say Egg Albatross.
Ah.
Yeah, I find usually for the Albatross and the Hawk, it's usually just best to...
Hey, okay.
Did you almost fall through the rails again?
I jumped off the rail and didn't get back on it.
Yeah.
This
They don't give you that many lives to restock with. I thought they gave you more.
Okay, dokie.
Thought you maybe got like 1 or 2 more lives than that. Yeah, the front cannon's impervious.
Oh, I destroyed something on it.
Yeah, it has 2 turrets on each side and like 3 egg pawns shooting in the middle on each side. But if you take out the center piece, which is the main piece, all those will go with it.
Okay. Whatever works, I
Yeah,
guess.
that's like my favorite way of killing this boss, is going right in the middle and just going gung-ho. Alright, now the second phase.
Hasn't come down yet.
This thing's got 3 phases.
Fair enough.
Here we go. Yeah.
Not like the second phase is all that more difficult.
I don't even know if
I
I'm
forget
hitting
if you can
anything.
only attack the
Apparently,
propeller.
oh, apparently I was. Okay.
Level up. We got him now, didn't we? Amy, Epic, getting away.
And now you just gotta defeat the weakened version of that thing.
Ready anytime. All right.
You can probably just get near him and team blast.
Or that can happen.
Ready, all cannons! Open
Ah,
fire!
crap. Oh, homing attack.
This is it. Ready?
Okay, dokie.
And yeah, there's no checkpoints in that fight.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
Level up. Ah. All right.
The one great thing about this fight's AI is if you don't want to fight him in the split section with the hole in the middle, you don't have to. Just go run past him.
Okay, I don't think I was accomplishing anything there.
All right.
I think one thing that doesn't help, it doesn't... It feels like I'm going straight up on my left analog stick, but it doesn't really seem to translate it to actual movement like that.
Hmm.
I'm wondering if that's... whether that's just me or what.
Well, from my view currently, you seem to be going straight. Gotta hate that front piece. Well, this turn here is like the most wide open part of this arena.
There we go. Well, I did have it, and then the homing decided to send me in a completely different direction.
Yes, it did.
Come on.
You're going to regret this.
You
Okay,
can't
I
technically
I was not above solid ground when that happened.
It thankfully put you back on solid ground.
Thank goodness.
But yeah, you can even just hit the arms of that central piece and it'll do damage.
Oh, I hope I'm accomplishing something at the moment, because otherwise, okay.
We got him now, didn't we?
Yeah, as long as you're not directly attacking those cannons, I think you're doing damage to it.
We gotta catch him.
Alright, you said Team Blast? Let's try Team Blast.
Yeah, Team Blast does damage bosses. As long as they're in range.
Boom! Down he goes. Whew.
Alright!
Let's be real, that particular Hawk, I think, only has like 15 health. It's significantly weak.
Well, considering I just blew up 2 of its parts.
Let's go look
Which
for
had like
Rocket
30 health
XL
apiece.
now.
They have more health for the other teams, but
At least I know
It's
I know that I'm over halfway done with this segment of things.
yeah, you got 6 stages and 3 bosses left to go.
Oh dear!
It's
He-
just a stupid
Eggman took a hint from Dr. Wily, it seems.
Where are you? Let's go home.
cheese. What's wrong? Oh no. Yes. A chow nap. But why? I'm not really sure, but betcha Dr. Eggman has something to do with it, and we're not gonna let him get away with it. Come on, let's get out of here.
Okie dokie.
Frog Forest.
Yeah, you are now in the forest, jungle, swamp biome. Which is a weird set of stages.
You all ready? Chocola.
Froggy.
There are mysterious frogs that summon rain in this area. This is making my head spin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of weird stuff in the forest, including the fruits and the frogs.
As long as they're not trying to kill me.
Let go of the ivy when it reaches the highest point.
Oh, these frogs won't.
All right. There's a frog over there. I'll be right back. Here we go. Yeah.
Spring.
Yeah, frogs basically make vegetation grow nearby.
There's a frog over there.
Usually in the form of platforms. Sometimes it's mushrooms to bounce off of. Or platform off of in this particular instance.
Hey, I think
I guess thinking about that is actually one thing that is kind of weird with this game too. I feel like the difficulty curve is a little off. I don't think things progress quite as smoothly as they could from a difficulty standpoint. Because I would honestly say this world is probably easier than the last one you were in.
Level up! I think we should go down there.
Ah.
Level up.
Oh.
Got it.
Looks like this flower may lift up using wind power.
Oh, I know what's next. I can see it already. The weird flowers.
Wow! I can't believe this flower can actually fly. I feel like I've become one with the flower.
Yeah, you can move it a little bit, and you can jump off, I think, at any time, but for the most part, yeah, get auto-taken
It's like,
somewhere.
why would I want to jump off of it?
Careful not to
Yeah,
fall.
sometimes there's like one-ups on a path that's more difficult, but it
Fair enough.
rarely is ever worth it.
Whoa! What the heck? Physics?
Oh,
What were you doing there?
We should go.
what worth of the physics doing there?
My turn. Ooh, got it.
Hey!
Here we go.
Thing too is I don't think there's actually much more to the stage than that. Also,
Lift up using wind power, Amy. Wow!
I recall Frog Forest for Teen Rose being quite short.
Fly. I feel like I've become one with the flower. All right.
Got it.
Please be careful not to fall. All right. There are so many bad robots.
Wow, you're right.
Okay. Apparently I didn't have enough momentum there.
Yeah, I don't know if that was meant to put you on the rail, but you definitely didn't have the speed to keep up on it.
Level up. My turn. Got it.
Looks like this flower may lift up using wind power, Amy. Wow! I can't believe this flower can actually fly. I feel like I've become one with the flower. All right.
Got it.
Please be careful not to fall. All right.
Hey, well, there's the goal.
Bad robots.
Wow, you're right.
Yeah, I have a feeling it really was not much further than where you were at.
Right.
I'll do my best. Here we go. Here we go. We did it.
Whew, okay.
Not too bad, I guess.
At this point, this point, it feels weird when I'm even getting C ranks.
Well, like, this stage in particular was not fairly challenging, honestly.
Despite me dying twice.
Yeah, well, I would say you died more so because of weird mechanics, more so than a fault of your own.
Stage 10, Lost Jungle.
I wonder if Froggy is here in this jungle.
Everybody, look out! Okay!
Okay. I was getting squished there.
I forget if you've dealt with the big hammer enemies before, but they are very chunky.
Yeah, I saw they had a good bit of health in there.
Did you hear about the black frogs? The rain they summoned killed plants.
Oh dear.
Here we go! There's a frog over there! I can't believe
Yeah, there's your warning about the frogs that will do things to mess with you. Not, they won't directly kill you, but they will mess with the environment.
Right.
Why don't we go up? Yeah. Here, yeah. Here, yeah. We're ready to go! Anytime! Here we go!
The cute rabbit can do it.
Here we go! Yeah.
Got it. My turn.
I'll do my best!
Yay, checkpoint. Okay, I do still have 2 lives left.
Here we go! Yeah.
And okay.
Now, it's definitely where you're bouncing off the tree. But you missed a full fling vine.
I'm convinced that
Alright! Enemy robot!
I'm convinced at this point that I can't even go on those things unless I'm in speed mode.
I'm pretty certain any group can grab them, but I think you went over it when you were using fly. Speed probably has the easiest time getting on them, if I had to guess, though.
Excellent. Works for me. And I went into the drink again.
Oh,
Please be careful not to fall!
My turn.
Of course, it was probably my own fault for landing right there to getting caught.
Ooh.
You out of my way.
There's that black frog again! They can be beaten by fruit!
Okay.
Here we go!
you messed up that fruit.
There's something there.
I think the end of the stage is actually close.
Got it.
There's like a couple sections like that. It ends in a section like that, but I guess I had the wrong one.
right.
Oh, and I should also mention the big hammer robot can be killed by Team Blast.
My swinging move is stronger than your swinging move.
Fishing rod beats hammer.
Obviously.
We did it! That was scary!
Nothing can stop the three of us. Woohoo!
Yeah,
there's
that's the end.
Yeah, knew it wasn't far.
And I was about to say, just give me a few more rings and give me a 1-up, please.
Yeah, a little unfortunate you didn't quite get to a 1-up right before the next boss.
Not too bad, I guess.
Ah, Team Chaotix.
I was wondering if I could ask you something.
If it's about a date,
Their encounter
Hey!
is kind of forced.
Now hand over that chow nice and easy.
I bet you're the ones who took chocolate chow.
What?
It's not nice to tease my friends.
Yeah, time to rock and roll!
It's all just a bit of miscommunication, and Mr. Buzzy Bee guy there is just running with it at this point.
Yeah, charming. Just as a side note, I think Amy, according to the instruction book for Sonic Heroes, is 12. Vector is like 20. So the date response is like, excuse me.
Well, and Sonic is supposed to be how old now?
According to this manual, he was 15.
Losers like you.
So Amy chasing after him isn't like, completely out of left field. I forget if they can do it in the first team fight, but in the second team fight, the enemy team can definitely use their Team Blast.
Level up.
Oh, they're running around in speed formation.
Yeah.
If memory serves, there's like a rock, paper, scissors when it comes to formations.
Well,
And
there. I
think
guess.
speed-
I guess there's the team attack.
Yep, there's their Team Blast. Which is gonna probably knock your team over, stun you, and probably launch you into the drink.
Nope.
Nope, got lucky there at least.
I must not have
But yeah, like, different formations work better against other formations, which is why power formation is being used against your speed, and speed is being used against your fly.
Though I'm kind of wondering what I'm supposed to do now that I'm just.
You can fight with cheese. Your Chow can hit them. But there's not much you can do. In fact, Vector somehow got killed already.
So how am I supposed to attack solo here?
Your Chow is literally trying to chase after them and shoot them, I think. You
Okay.
can also just jump into him. He's technically running in circles.
Camera, what the heck were you doing?
There's gotta be a major misunderstanding here.
Yeah, it looks like Charmy stung you off solo too. He has a solo attack as well. Oh, I guess you just get a life restock every stage because it looks like you got them back. If you're below a certain count.
Whee!
Because you definitely had 0, and you're back at 2.
There's gotta be a major
Okay.
misunderstanding here, but we can't back down now.
Yeah, the second team fight's definitely harder than the first.
Losers like you.
Because they'll almost always pick the formation that's good against yours, and I'm gonna be real, usually in these team fights I just spam fly and try to kill everybody with that because it's honestly the best move. Because it stuns them on the ground and you can just combo them into the drink.
Oh, so I have to knock him into the water.
Yeah, you have to knock them out off the ring. Because they don't have rings, technically. Oh, they're in speed formation currently, so it might be a little harder to deal with. Oh, nope. Well, I think you got rid of one or two of them, but the Team Blast just came in and revived them, so that's annoying.
Here we go.
Yeah, like I said, fly formation is very good. Yeah, he's just gonna... I think he's just gonna juggle you. There you go. Now you're forced to switch. That is a terrible camera.
There's gotta be a
Yeah.
but we can't back down now.
And this is why I usually just stay on fly formation.
Losers like you. All right.
And I want to say the balloons on the outside of the arena can give you team levels, which will probably... not team levels, but like member levels, which might help you deal with them.
You're gonna pay for this.
Well, I had one down, but now he's back.
Yeah, you knocked the SPO off.
Yeah, but now he's back.
Yeah, I want to say you can still die from the usual no rings clause, so...
Yeah, that's why I grabbed a couple before doing anything else.
Alright, looks like it's just SPO left. Him and his ninja stars.
And I won, somehow.
Yeah, these fights are just jank incarnate.
You cannot have cheese.
It's probably a D.
No, that was a C.
Okay. I know the B is like... The range of ranks for the team fights is a little weird. Well, now we're on to the Haunted Castle theme.
Alright then.
I think we're lost.
And I would say from like a level design standpoint, these two stages probably stand out the most.
Guys, don't you want to find Chocola and Froggy? We can do this.
They do some really interesting things.
All of us. My turn. Got it. Hoi, hoi.
Anything else in here? No.
Here we go.
My turn.
Hello, giant pumpkin thing.
I'll do my best.
My turn. Hoi, hoi. Hoi, hoi.
This door won't open without finding a switch.
Oh, what's down here?
I'm falling.
Oh.
I'll do my best. What? Where am I?
The castle is
Okay.
Yeah, this stage has a real interesting gravity change gimmick.
Hey, there's that switch again.
Ah, what happened to the floor? Actually, Amy, the castle has returned back to
And
normal.
apparently I didn't hit whatever switch I needed to hit to make the door open.
Oh yeah, yeah. Go back and flip upside down again. I think I remember where it is.
Falling. What? Where am I?
The castle castle is
Found it.
turned upside down.
Yeah, I think it's like on top of the yeah.
Game? What?
Oh. Okay.
Okay, game, if you say so.
I don't agree with that.
Got it.
I like this game, I do. It's just full of jankiness is the problem.
Searchlight. If so, he'll call his friends.
Oh, apparently there were boxes there before.
Yeah, I think when you were shooting off stuff with Big, they got broken by accident.
What? Where am I?
The castle is turned upside down.
That.
Do you guys want to try down there?
There you go. Aim for the center of the room.
Yeah. The other thing that makes this particular area a little weird for Rose is that most teams enter that particular upside down segment differently, so that's probably why that particular segment is not super well integrated.
When he's upside down. My turn. Oh, goody.
Yeah, those wizard robots will heal themselves and nearby robots back to full health if they get their move off.
Ah, okay.
Alright, no problem for Mr. Big.
And like they were saying, there is a flipped version of him that's a little more problematic. You will end up seeing it either this stage or next stage, because it will appear in that form. You can still flip him back to the normal form if wanted, or you can just kill it.
Level up.
Okay then.
I was gonna say, you must be... Oh, you missed the ramp, okay. I don't get why there weren't multiple ramps there.
Because obviously you should be able to hit the one that's sitting right there.
Where am I?
Plus, there's only one gravity flipper switch there too. They've also done more with if they had more ramps, they could put more switches to make that segment a little less problematic.
What's that?
Yeah, those pumpkin head guys are literally just ghosts. They're very briefly ever there.
I just wonder what the heck I'm supposed to be doing right now.
I think yeah, there's a platform.
I see it.
Here we go. Yeah.
Platform, if I remember correctly, makes a somewhat annoying noise while it's moving.
This area is dangerous.
Okay.
So be careful not to fall.
It says speed, you don't have to use speed, fly might be easier. It's pretty much just telling you to use speed because you know it's a Sonic game, so the core platform is going to be told for you to use the Sonic equivalent.
There are so many of those robots around here. Should we take care of them?
Oh yeah, this one was really short. Oh, looks like you flipped him over.
Oh, did I? I didn't even.
Yep.
I
So
couldn't
that
even
particular
tell.
version, since it did come up, he'll suck your rings away if you're not quick to kill him.
Alright. I'll do my best.
Oh, I see. I see the end.
Hey guys!
Hello.
Hello, Omega.
Yeah, long time no chat. Been busy moving.
Careful not to fall.
Yeah, I can relate to that experience, at least from a year ago. Still kind of getting over that. Hopefully it goes smoothly for you.
Yeah, finished moving in. Got some more, just a few boxes to unpack still, but other than that, it's home sweet home.
Well, that's good at least.
Yeah. Got a writing room, a gaming room. I'll probably stream back, put a video out on YouTube or Twitch to reveal what my setup looks like. It is bare. Well, my setup is bare bones, just to let you know.
Hmm.
Oh, goodness knows if I can be streaming stuff. I'm sure a lot of people can be streaming stuff because I don't exactly have a high-end rig myself.
Yeah. Actually, in truth, my computer that used to, it doesn't really exist. I have a laptop, but it doesn't have a capture card.
Hmm.
Do you mean capture card or graphics card?
Capture.
Well,
don't have a
computers
capture
themselves
card.
don't necessarily need a capture card. The capture card runs externally to capture consoles.
Yeah, like the capture card I'm using is basically what connects my PS2 to my PC.
Got it.
I see.
This was the stage, by the way, that I mentioned earlier that I came back to look at because I might want to Mario Maker it.
Ah.
This is probably the most memorable stage for me in the whole game, Mystic Mansion.
Trying to do a belly flop on a guy with a dang spear. What the heck am I thinking?
So like you pop the cat balloon.
So I did have my headset hooked up to my TV, but since, you know, there's actually people in voice chat for once, it might be best if I hook it back up to my computer so I can actually hear you guys better.
Understandable.
I just hope there won't be too much in the way of audio cues in this game.
I'll do my best. Here we go. Yeah. Level up.
My turn.
Take you out.
Got it.
Level up. So many bad robots.
Hello, Mr. Wizard guy. It's hard to revive anyone, to heal anyone if they're all dead.
My turn.
Here we go.
We don't know what this switch could trigger.
Well, let's find out what the switch triggers.
Yeah, the switches in this stage do a lot more things.
It's not just. Let's just get rid of you.
Level up. Level up.
Yeah, the Switch does a lot more in this stage, which is part of why it's like, if I wanted to make this into Mario Maker, I very well could. Just use on and off switches. I can't make all of it. I think the stage itself is too big for what Mario Maker can do.
And it's also, I would also like to think it would be kind of difficult to translate a 3D stage into a 2D environment.
Yeah, but I can at least make some, like, familiar objects and, like, layouts to what's here. There's a couple key, like, pieces to this stage that stick out that I can formulate into a stage.
Well, here's the bobsled thing.
Yeah, these are on rails, so you can't actually move the bobsled at all.
Then why is it telling me to dodge things?
Because you can jump.
Oh. One thing I've been wondering, has it? Last time I saw Pink's that tubular terror was on two clears. Has it gone up since?
I will have to check that in a little while. I know I'm one of those 2 clears.
Yeah, you were the first one I know.
Donut, I think, was the other one that got a clear.
This door won't open without.
It's mostly just more of a curiosity, because I wouldn't even have the means, so.
Yeah.
You know, lack of switch
I can
and all.
see if my Switch can connect to the service from where I am. My Ethernet port's currently being used by my computer, so I can't use that to check.
Okay, so that led to nothing, but... Ah, there we go. Because I know when I was at Psychedelic Eyeball stream when he was doing submitted Mario Maker levels, and that one came up.
Of course, someone probably who watches him, which might be Seraphy, probably gave it to him.
Okay.
Because I know Seraphy had been watching him do some of it.
Because I remember what Psych said the moment he saw the win condition. He instantly said, "Bad, Pink Kitty Rose, bad." I seem to recall the farthest. I think the farthest he ever got to, regardless of. Oops, I should have switched to power. I think he got to the thwomps, I want to say, but that's as far as he ever got on that.
God, I forgot how short the stages were for Rose in the castle area.
Doesn't help if I keep dying.
Yeah, you almost got through that one without dying.
Well, the issue was that I was using speed form to take out that wizard when I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, admittedly, that's one of the few instances where it's like the homing attack is either your best friend or your worst enemy.
But if I had known that the goal ring was right there, I would have got straight for it. My thought was see enemy, defeat enemy.
Oh, I know that mantra. I know that mantra all too well.
We should try to do better next time.
Thought you were gonna get higher than a D.
I've been getting a lot of E's and D's on this.
I think if you hadn't died, you would have probably gotten a C or a B. See what hell your score to go off of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got 1 A, and that was on the first team battle.
Mustache monkey, you tiptoe.
Mustache monkey? Okay.
What if I did, then what?
Please return to Cola.
To be fair, in Sonic Colors, he's called Balding McNosehair or something at least once.
Okay then. So, Team Sonic's going out of its way to try to figure out some unique ways to names to call. Works for me.
So yeah, this is just the robot carnival you follow, except different enemies and different venue, and I think it's a little longer.
Well, I would think so.
Alright, where is... There it is. Has anyone else cleared it yet? No! It's a 2 of 2535.
I thought the attempts was higher than that.
I mean, I gave it like 800 attempts on my own.
Yeah, I thought it was already well into the thousands before.
Yeah, I think it was like 800 or 600 or something when I started, and then I pushed it into 1,000.
Oh, goodness.
Them all!
Oh, jeez, hello.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we did it! We did it!
This particular boss was probably one of the ones I got the A rank on the longest. It took me the longest to get it. If only because King Chaotix's version of this has a very annoying segment to it that is very time-consuming. there's a segment later in the fight that has some cannons in it for them, and they have to shoot out of the cannons into the background to shoot some flying enemies and get launched back by like launch pads. And you do this like rinse and repeat until they're all gone.
Enough already!
That's a free team blast in there.
This is only the beginning.
Well, if you're giving me a free one, I might as well use this one now.
Level up!
Big kind of needed to level up because he hadn't. I've been wanting to use the fishing pole move for a while, but it's over now.
Also,
Okay,
that was also the end of the fight.
All right.
If you were playing this with any other team, there's like 5 different segments. You go to the fight robots. It's like 15 waves.
Is it finished?
I got a B on that.
But Chaotix has a fun time in this fight only because there's so many enemies, and because their Team Blast gives them rings to constantly like go back into their gauge. You can Team Blast like every other wave.
Oh wow.
It's kind of hilarious.
Stage 13, Egg Fleet.
Yeah, you are on the last 2 stages now. These are both sky-based.
Okay.
I was also half considering trying to do this one in Mario Maker, but it would be a lot more bare bones and difficult to do.
If you want to fight, you've got one. Let's get
I want to say his entire fleet also has ships shaped like sea creatures. Because the battleships look like swordfish,
We're flying so high.
and his normal ships I think look like whales.
I see nothing but clouds. Better not fall off.
Ah, dang it. Hold the direction, then press jump.
Nah.
We're flying so high. It's kind of scary.
I see nothing but clouds. Better
There we
not
go.
fall off.
All right.
It should go without saying, but there's a lot of ways to fall in this area.
You think?
My turn.
Fortunately, if I remember correctly with Rose, the only thing you have to do is get through the first battleship you come across.
Ooh. Don't worry, you can do it, Melee.
High. It's kind of scary.
I see nothing but clouds. Better not fall
Let's see
off.
how many rings this one has.
All right.
Hey, what the heck am I even trying to do here?
I was gonna say, the way you veered there made me feel like you tried jumping for those rainbow rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was trying to switch rails, but I was a bit too late.
I see nothing but
That
clouds.
probably makes
Yeah.
sense.
A touch too late, but worth it. Worth a shot.
So I guess I had to. And I thought this was a gap this whole time. That's probably half the
Nope,
problem.
that's covered in like plastic.
Oh God.
They're not that evil, thankfully. That design's not super clear, though.
Yeah.
There's a switch on top of this cannon. Big, slam it down.
You have to bounce off it repeatedly to make it rise.
Oh, okay. Hey, the heck?
No, 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 no.
I was not holding any directions during that.
Aww.
I forget if Big has like innate like momentum in a direction when he body slams.
We're up.
Oh, up to 85%. So
Okay, here we go.
definitely closer to the end than to the beginning.
Yeah, you said the file you looked at before from previous was like 93, 91%.
It was 90 something for sure.
Yeah, so you were either on the last stage or the last boss with that team.
I want to say I was on a boss because I looked at it at sometime semi-recently.
That would be the typical story file boss because there's a true file boss.
It was a chase thing. I know that. I remember that much.
Yeah, that would be the. I'll wait till he comes back up.
Fair enough.
Just to not say it.
We're flying so high. It's kind of scary.
I see nothing but clouds. Better not fall off.
Here we go. Yeah. How's that?
Okay, that works.
Woo!
Got it.
Yeah, that let you cut through a little bit of the section.
Got it.
Shortcuts for the win.
Here we go. Woo!
I'm starting to think. Whoa. Okay.
Oh yeah, I think I've careened past those balloons before too.
And then fell through the rail.
Oh, and you couldn't fly again, could you?
No.
Yeah.
We're flying so high. It's kind of scary.
You almost
I see
had it.
nothing but clouds. Better not fall off.
I'm starting to think, just for movement purposes, I'm starting to think I like the fly mode. Kind of like how I seem to recall being in a similar thing on Sonic Racer Zero Gravity. Okay.
Yeah, the fly characters in the Riders games get to take a lot of shortcuts usually. And they're kind of just the most simple of the characters to use.
Big, slam it down.
Yeah, you don't have to use that cannon.
I even when I'm standing still, I am still I get moved over a bit when.
You also just got displaced by that cannon coming back down. There is a springboard past that cannon. You don't have to take that.
I see it. I saw it.
Scary.
I see nothing but clouds. Better not fall off.
I think the worst thing too, I think that cannon is only in the Rose and Chaotic sections because Knuckles and Omega can't bounce like that.
Makes sense.
Here we go. Yeah. How's that?
So in my mind, it's like, why even have it then?
Here we go.
Whew! That was close.
I'll do my best.
Got it.
There is like some ground below you if you don't hit that ring.
The cannons are aimed at those markers at your feet. Level up.
Got it.
Here we go.
That cannon is trying to hurt us. Can I hurt him back?
Get wrecked, cannon.
We can use that current to go up. Hey, Big, do you think we can use your umbrella somehow?
My turn.
Okay.
Yeah, Lehes, I wouldn't say that comment is too incorrect. This era does kind of have that whole floating object museum stage design feel. I want to say the one game that really doesn't feel like it did that as much was Shadow the Hedgehog, and that game is very much a mixed bag.
Very much what?
A mixed bag.
I was just.
Because Shadow the Hedgehog is not a good game. It's one that people can find guilty pleasure in, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have options. I think I might have taken the wrong one, but oh well.
Get wrecked by a fishing rod.
And then I got knocked off the side.
No, right between the fan, too.
Oh man.
Yeah, like, from a design standpoint, why would you not make the fan a square at that point?
That cannon is trying to hurt us.
There's a lot of questionable things about the level design in this game.
Maybe one thing that would probably help is if when I'm using the when I'm using the homing attack, maybe don't mash it. Because that seems to be
When
part
you
of the
mash it, you'll go immediately back in, like, as soon as you bounce off. And when you don't mash, you get a moment to kind of recollect and figure out exactly what's going on next.
Right.
Got it.
Note here, no. Alright, let's try going the other way then.
Going in the middle there is where the fan is.
Hello! One up.
Oh, you found the one up. Yeah, going in the middle where that fan was technically also an option.
Got it.
Considering I was on my last life, collecting that was a very good idea.
Yeah,
Indeed.
we have had a little bit to go back through at that point. Oh, this mech. Eventually he'll fire a laser. And he'll try to block attacks.
So much for the laser.
Yep, there he goes.
He got wrecked by a fishing rod. A fishing rod!
My turn. Oh, goody.
Those seem really precarious. I don't feel like going for those right now.
I mean, you could just shoot Amy and Cream at them.
Yahoo!
In the past at this point, though. Is that section the one I'm thinking of?
Okay.
Maybe in a moment.
Landed on the rail.
Oh, yeah.
Damn!
I'm gonna take a while to
Not yet.
say this is a tornado thing.
Oh no, there it is. Yeah, this was what I was thinking of. I'm actually trying to remember now if Rose even has to deal with the gimmick of this particular segment. Might not.
Where are you supposed to go?
I think Dark and Rose are the ones that have to deal with that gimmick. You can move up and down, but they would get shot. You get shot in those stages if you don't go in the right spot. Whereas Rose gets just a free ride here.
I noticed I could go up and down. But yeah, those enemies don't seem too keen on having accuracy.
Yeah, like one of them would have said they're firing as and to go up or down if you were in a segment like that.
Checkpoint.
Well, you're on the battleship now.
My turn. Oh.
In fact, I want to say if you watch the intro to this game, you can actually see one of these battleships in the intro.
Level up!
Although watching the intro also gives you insight that there might be someone else doing things in this. Either bounce on it repeatedly or just go down and fight enemies. That's basically your two options.
Or I can just fly above everything.
True. This is why everybody likes using tails. You can just fly over the stage. Why actually play the stage?
Yeah.
Well, I have played Tails Adventure, so...
So have I.
Well, that one, Tails has to do a little bit more.
yeah, Tails has to do pretty much everything, and he's armed with bombs.
Yeah, I've played a little bit of that game. I think my younger brother's the one who's actually gone out of his way to complete it.
I think I completed it long ago.
Yeah, that's one of my childhood games, TM.
Tales of the Sky Patrol, on the other hand, I have beaten, but that's because that game is not super challenging, I would say. Kind of just a flying on rails type game.
And pray you don't get lost.
That was a weird bounce.
Okay.
I think I remember what you're supposed to do in this section, and it's not pleasant.
Me? I don't think I got to this point with... Because I remember getting to one point in here with like 4 sections, and the game crashed. Kept crashing over and over and over again. Which really sucked.
Yeah, I think you can go over to the right side. I don't think there's actually a hole down there. So if you'd rather go the other side and deal with whatever it has, I think that is an option. You may have noticed, by the way, but the fly gauge only goes down when you move in a direction. If you just stay put, your fly gauge won't actually decrease.
Yeah, I noticed that during the tutorial.
No rings is concerning.
Yeah, a little bit.
Fortunately, you're pretty much at the end of the stage. I think you have like one more enemy to deal with, and then the goal's on the other side of the gate, practically.
Yeah, well, there's the goal.
Woohoo! I'm feeling a little blue.
I forget now, was that the first stage of this part or the second one?
That was the first.
Okay.
You're now going to the second. The very aptly named Final Fortress.
Yep, Final Fortress. Hurry and find Eggman!
Here we are. It's quite overwhelming. I've got to pull myself together.
Rocky.
Why have things at an angle like that, game?
Dramatic effect is the best word I have. I think that's also another instance where Rose and Chaotic start the stage in a different spot than Dark and Sonic do.
Rocky. My turn.
Kinda dumb.
Okay.
I think we should go down there.
Where? I didn't.
There's a little hook you can grab.
Ah, I see it now. Game? The heck
Yeah,
was-
those platforms pop up and down. I don't know why they do.
I've gotta pull myself together.
Froggy.
Well, that was a good save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they only want you to use power to get rid of the block. You can probably use any formation going down that hook.
Okay. Thing is, I think before I was expecting to jump, have a bit of upward momentum.
Yeah, it's kind of like all forward momentum. It's really... Like I said, the best word that can describe Sonic Heroes is janky.
Here we go. Yeah. The cannons are aimed at those markers at your feet.
Oh, they're not going to aim at anything if I destroy them first. Although I'm not sure I can do that from here.
Watch out for the first wave.
Oh, goody.
I'll do my best. Here we go.
I think I could break this.
Oh, can you now?
Yeah, that's the same thing you broke a little while ago.
Ah.
Level up.
Well, hello, platform that I didn't see while I was on the ground.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what happened there. Well, I guess we'll find out now whether you get checkpoints in the second stage.
Yeah.
Count on me.
Okay, here we go.
I think you were at 85, so it looks like you did.
Yeah.
Final Fortress.
88 right now.
So yeah, you were probably stuck on the final story boss.
Here we are. It's quite overwhelming. I've gotta pull myself together.
Okay, so just not holding not moving at all while after going on the conveyor belt didn't do a darn thing. Fine.
Yeah,
Alright.
because again, it expects you to be dead center, and that's hard to do when you are at an angle.
Yes, hence the earlier comment.
I forget if even moving just straight up on the controller works in
It
that
doesn't.
particular instance.
It doesn't. It moves me.
Yeah.
It moves me straight forward, not forward in respect to the platforms.
We should go down there. Areas are unstable and may detonate. When it starts to shake, get away fast.
Oh.
Hey, okay. I'm good.
That circle marked by your feet means that you're in
Ew.
danger.
Almost did.
Damn!
Alright, I think I may have found something that's explained some stuff here, though. I went to quickly look at something. Apparently the PS2 version of Heroes was not as well received as the other ones.
Ah,
Which one is that?
Reviewers noted clipping, graphic faults, and lower frame rate.
the PS2 version was the.
Yeah.
Well, that was the system I got, so
Yeah.
didn't really have much for other options.
No, that's fine. I was just quickly seeing, like, if I could figure out maybe if there was a difference between versions and why, if it might explain some of the weird stuff we're seeing. Sure enough, it looks like it might.
Okay.
I'll do my best. Here we go.
And you're going to need to fly out of that. Great.
That's no big thing, at least. It wasn't a pit. Or what, a bottomless pit.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, I think if you collect a few more rings, you can actually Team Blast again. But
yeah,
you may
but
not
I
need
was
to.
planning on thinking of team blasting this guy, but I don't think I really need to.
No, not at this point, especially since he's on the floor.
Level up.
It's trying.
Springs, at the very least, are at least pretty good at taking you where you need to go. The dash pads aren't.
Okay, I didn't move there, and it actually was a good idea.
Thankfully, it works there.
It's almost like they tested to make sure I can actually do it. Hey, okay.
Ooh. That could have ended badly.
Yes, it could have.
Maybe he doesn't like his neighbors much.
The cute rabbit can do it. Huh?
I'll do my best. Here we go.
No offense, Cream, but I don't think he has much neighbors in the sky.
Maybe that's part of the point.
Sid, make those cannons stop.
There's the laser.
Do you guys want
And
to
don't
try
forget,
something?
Dr. Omelet Boy really sucks at being a villain.
God.
Well, in this game, yes, but there's a reason for that. One I won't immediately go into. Other team stories actually do reveal the detail I'm keeping quiet on.
I guess I can't go up. Can I not go up there?
I think there's a spring in that hole.
Oh, there is. So there is.
Eggman's robots are everywhere.
Yay, I got a one up.
Okay, dokie. I'm ready. Oh,
Hello, laser. But I got the one up first, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah, he's pretty susceptible when he's firing the laser at least, so it gives you a good time to whack on him with something.
There we go.
If you were doing this segment with any other team, there'd be a lot more danger.
Oh, really now?
It would have been really chaotic with the alligators team.
Okay.
Yeah, that particular rail leads right to the next one. Think you're at the end, too.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I actually saw the obstacle coming and was able to switch.
Yeah, there was a
Switch
spike
lanes.
ball coming. Spike balls blend in a bit in a dark environment like this one.
not too bad, I guess.
Yeah, you see.
I was gonna say, I don't think you actually died on that particular attempt, so at least not after the first part of the stage.
Right. 20. Now you can
20
bring-
also unlocks a multiplayer thing. Every 20 emblems, you get a new battle mode to play. Really only useful if you play, if you have someone else to play with.
Which I do not, so. Never did, really.
Yeah, story of my life for most of my life.
Froggy, where are you?
It's your fault that Sonic and I aren't together. You're gonna regret this for the rest of your life.
Enough of this. Game Creed Big. Time to meet your maker. I'll show you what real evil is.
Okay.
Okay, let's give it all we've
Egg Emperor.
got.
Okay, dokie.
This is also one of the bosses that gets constantly mean for Eggman saying the same thing over and over.
Yeah, get the loads of these. Get the loads of these.
Right?
That's Adventure. That's Sonic Adventure. In this one, it's take this, take this, take this, take this.
Okay, let's give it all we've got. Okay.
Every time he slashes that lance. Alright, so basically you want to keep up with him the best you can. If he gets too far ahead of you, he will charge into you like he just did there.
Yeah.
And you basically want to get him to an arena point where you can actually do damage to him. He'll stick there for a little bit and then he'll move on to do a few more sections like this.
That robot will charge us when there's enough distance. Let's make sure.
The balloons have team power up in them, so... Nope, I think he... Nope, he's not going to charge you again because he's gone ahead to the arena, so you're fine here. Alright, so his core is the weak point, but he will put that shield in the way a lot. A way to get rid of the shield is to thunder shoot it.
And apparently I legit died there. Okay.
I think, yeah, right before you grabbed a ring. So yeah, like they were saying, either thunder shoot the shield to stun it out of the way, or have Big destroy the shield. Otherwise, you can homing attack his core with a speed character when it's open. Yeah, I want to say his low slashes, you can't go under them, you have to jump over them.
It's just have been having a bit of a time figuring out which one's which.
Yeah.
Thought I'd saved myself there, but I guess not.
No, it almost looked like you did, yeah.
Yeah, I thought I had run out of lives already, but I guess not. And I can't get too close because I'll run into him.
Yeah, there's a balance that has to be had in this fight. And I want to say there are instances where it's possible to get ahead of him. And if you do, I don't think he'll charge at you immediately, but if you get too far ahead, he will charge into you as if you were behind him.
I want to at least try and get past this boss today. Since
Yeah,
I'm already here and have already been making attempts at it.
Yeah, you'll beat one team today if you can get that.
Which is honestly more than I was expecting.
Yeah, the surprisingly short story mode if you, especially with Team Rose. Because Team Rose's stages are like half the length of every other character, every other team.
Really?
Yeah, they're meant to be easy mode.
I'll show you what real evil is.
Like, if you look at the description for each team, which you can get by, I think, pressing X or Y with Omo Chow before going in with the team. Team Sonic is basic gameplay, standard difficulty of the game. Team Dark is
hard
harder
mode.
in the way that the bosses, I think, have slightly more health. I could be wrong on that. And they have more enemies in their stages. That's the main difference.
Try not to get left behind.
I like how you hit that question mark right when he impacts you from the charge.
And I'm wondering why I keep jumping into the horizontal slashes.
Yeah, those horizontal slashes are a little weird. But yeah, Team Rose is easy mode, technically. They're for people who just kind of want to have a more casual time with the game. It's why their Team Blast gives them invincibility and level ups. It's why the stages are so much shorter. It's why bosses for them are either shorter or have less health.
Really?
In most instances.
Getting comboed by the slashes now?
And Chaotix has the gimmick-style gameplay to where your mission objective is not always get to the goal. Sometimes you need to collect an object, sometimes you need to kill a certain amount of enemies. And sometimes you gotta do other stuff. It's kind of an interesting time with them. I'm surprised he did not charge at you, and I think he's too far to charge it at this point.
Okay, back in the sec, guys.
Alright. Obviously, if you'd rather not deal with cannons, you should try to kill them first. Eggman only stays here for a few attack cycles, so...
Oh boy.
I think typically when I fight this boss, I just thundershoot it.
I thought I did do that, and then I got hit by everything.
We're up! You can count on me!
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, I don't remember how much cannon clearing I usually do. But just using fly formation to attack him constantly tends to work because it deals with the shield and it tends to hit him squarely too.
Of course, I can't skip the cutscene.
It's your fault that
Yeah.
Sonic and I aren't.
The annoying thing too is when you're done with this, the last cutscene is unskippable, and so are the credits. And that's with each team too, because each team has their own theme song for the credits, even if the credits are basically the same every single time you watch them. Yeah, his horizontal slash high is always a little odd, because that one went over your head.
Yeah, I thought that one was a high, but it wasn't.
Oh yeah, the rings will also charge Team Blast, which you can also hit them with.
You know what? Let's just use
Get
it while
close
I
to the
have it.
cannons first. Plus, now you're invincible for a little bit, so...
Plus, I'm invincible while I'm doing the...
Alright, he's moving to the next sequence.
Yep. I'm presuming I can't attack him while we're...
Not very easily, no, because he's constantly moving away from you.
Ah, come on.
Oh. I really wish he was not allowed to shoot beams while you were transitioning from over those gaps, because that's honestly the one thing he does that is kind of unfair.
Ah! Whoa! Hello, camera!
Well, you went past him. You should be here in a moment.
Alright, let's just...
Yeah, it's Less actually for some reason doesn't seem to affect the cannons, but it's not like it matters if it makes you invincible. We're almost there. We have 100 health left to defeat on this thing still.
Apparently,
The shield's almost gone, though, which means he won't be able to use it soon.
Okay, fine, cool.
I'll show you what real evil is.
Oh, of course. You had a decent rhythm going at that point, too.
Hey, let's give it all we've got. Okay.
Okay, go, please.
Level up.
Of course, I jumped right into it again.
That robot will charge us when there's enough distance. Let's make sure we don't get
Yeah, I think it's based on his position, too, but I think when you're, like, on the same level as him, he'll go roughly where your Y coordinate is when you slashes.
Okay, that's one way of dodging that, I guess.
Yeah, you can lead his slashes a little bit, too, because those will also aim for where you are.
Oh, okay, I actually jumped all the way over it.
Okay, yeah, no, sometimes he will fake you out like that. I guess the good news is that there are constantly rings in there, it's easy enough to get an extra life in this fight.
Yeah, which I just did, apparently.
Yeah, you got 100 and then got shot.
I think I'm too close to him.
Yeah. Doesn't help that the cannons are displacing you a little bit. Oh yeah, I forgot that Team Rose's Team Blast also gives you a shield. Like you needed anything else.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Yeah, I was gonna say, he's definitely charging you. God, they move so slow. Cannons, please. I think his shield is broken, by the way, because he's not putting it up anymore.
Yeah, I believe so. Last I saw it, it was at like 3 health or something.
Yeah, because he would be putting it up right now if he had shield health left. So that means on this next sequence you can kind of attack him however you please, and you can't really do anything about it.
Might as well just...
Yeah, another Team Blast.
Yep.
If they give you the option, you may as well take advantage of it.
Yep.
Plus it takes off like 20 of his health, so... So you can like home and attack him, you can do whatever to him. As long as you're aiming for the big, flashing purple and blue light on his body.
Oh, is that?
That's where his cockpit is.
Alright,
I honestly still think thunder shooting him is the easiest way to hit him.
don't forget to punch him in the
Case in
balls.
point. Ah, he's almost dead. He's got 11 health left.
Yeah, but...
Yep, I was very afraid of a
it
charge
ain't
there.
over yet, so I can't...
If you can get close enough, you may be able to thunder shoot him during this sequence now that he can't hold the shield up, but it's risky.
Yeah, I'd rather not take risks.
Not this far into the fight. Also, I should say this right now. If you ever end up in a point where you're over the gap and he charges, you're pretty much dead.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Alright, this should be the last one.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna take any chances. I'm just gonna just destroy him with that.
What? The special move! Sayonara!
Hey, mate, Cream, you can stop attacking.
Yeah, I was noticing that. It's like, I can't move
I
big,
forgot that
but the other two are just wailing on him.
formation. I forgot in power formation, the AI is inclined to go more aggressive.
In the end, you can say robot. You say Eggman got creamed.
Kinda, yeah.
Well, he got scrambled.
Yep.
And you'll notice you gotta see, that fight takes a long time even with an A rank.
Right. So are all the, so is every mode 21 stages?
Yeah, every mode has the same stages. The only difference between the four is some of their stage structured layouts and win conditions. And everybody's team fights are story dependent, so
Right, yeah.
those are the only major differences. And the thing you unlock for getting them all is just a multi-phase boss fight in which you use each team once. Still a really cool boss, but not the most important thing.
Well, I've officially done more, done things that I hadn't done before, so hey, that's a good sign.
Yeah, I guess Egg Emperor is where you got stuck previously.
Yeah.
I'll admit, I think for the first time I reached him, it took me a while to figure out how to beat him.
Yep, so like, if I remember correctly on the other save file, it was the 4 routes. It was 18, 18, 90, whatever, and 80.
So 80 means you were probably either on Robot Storm or Egg Fleet with Chaotix, and 18 probably means you were probably in either Grand Metropolis or Power Plant, the other two teams. Which makes sense, because the Power Plant actually is somewhat trickier for those guys.
Well, I beat one full route in one sitting. I was not expecting to. Oh, I guess I thought there were more stages. I guess for one.
Yeah, Heroes is actually not very long. In fact, when you compare it to Sonic Adventure 2, it's about the same length as one of the team's stories in that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the most I've ever seen of that was playthroughs from others, and I don't remember a darn thing of those now.
And the original Sonic Adventure, the stories in that game ranged from like anywhere from 3 to 10 stages in length, and Sonic was the one with 10. So kind of the same case there. There's probably a little more meat to the stages in other stories, which kind of contributes to some of the length.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, at what since I'm at least going to attempt doing all 4 paths. Where would you suggest I put Chaotix into this?
Chaotix, honestly, when it comes to the objectives may be different, but I would say that Chaotix is easier than Sonic and Shadow are.
So I'm good. So that means I probably should do that one next, maybe.
It would be a nice, interesting way to go through the game.
Because I'm mostly thinking about what order to do things in. Obviously, it would be Sonic before Dark for sure.
Yeah, Dark is probably the one I would do last, if only because they're kind of labeled as the most difficult path.
Yeah.
But between Sonic and Chaotix, you could pick either and probably be fine. You had made more progress on Chaotix previously, so I imagine it may not be a bad idea to do that.
Yeah, that'll probably be it. That's probably how I'll go about it. I'll go Chaotix next and then Sonic and Dark, and we'll see how things pan out, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the objective-based gameplay of Chaotix is pretty fun, and I kind of wish they'd bring it back for a later game, but they never do. In fact, Chaotix has one of the more important story revelations at the end of their path, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we don't really see any of that on the Amy route. We just see we beat Eggman, boom, done.
The big story revelations are there's one in Team Sonic that you also can see in Team Dark. Dark has another important one at the end of it, and really one of the major ones is Chaotix right at the end.
So
they all kind of tie in. When it comes to Team Rose, you maybe get a hint of like one detail, and that's it. But that's only if you're paying attention and know what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
There's your 100.
Yeah, there's my 100.
Oh, if you're wondering what that mode of 3 question marks is,
yeah,
that is the mode you unlock for getting every A rank.
Ah, okay.
It's super hard difficulty. You basically play through a harder version of all 14 stages as only Team Sonic, and you cannot die else you go back to the first stage.
Ooh.
Oh,
you can't game over. You can't game over. You do have lives.
Collect all the emblems.
Okay, that's individual stage challenges. Okay.
Yeah. Every character has a sub-mission in every stage, and usually they're team-based. For Rose, their sub-objectives are to collect 200 rings in every stage.
Oh, wow.
For Chaotix, it's usually a harder version of their initial objective. For Sonic, it is a timed attack. And for Dark, it's you have to, I think, beat 100 enemies.
Okay.
Okay.
Those, I think, are all defined by time, but I don't remember.
I probably won't do much with them, just because it's...
Yeah, the main story is really the main thing.
Yeah. So, I guess join me next time when I start up on the Chaotix path.
Team Chaotix offers
So, I guess until then, this is MeleeWizard, and have a nice night.
Have a nice night.
Take care, all.